I fell in love with my bodyguard, then I found his revenge list, and my father's name was at the very top. I know how it sounds. It sounds like a bad movie, the kind where the girl is too blind to see the monster standing right next to her. But when you've lived your whole life in a house that feels more like a vault than a home, you learn to look for warmth in the coldest places. I thought Julian was my protector. I thought he was the only person in the world who didn't want something from my family's fortune. But this morning, I found a black leather notebook hidden under his mattress. And inside, written in neat, cold handwriting, was a list of names. My father's name was crossed out in red ink. My brother's name was next. And at the very bottom, circled twice, was mine. Today, I realized that the man who has spent the last 6 months guarding my life is actually the man who has been waiting for the perfect moment to destroy it. I never asked to be a Sterling. In this city, the Sterling name means power, but to me, it always just meant silence. My father, Arthur Sterling, is a man who builds empires on the ruins of other people's lives. I grew up in a mansion that felt like a museum, beautiful, expensive, and completely hollow. I was the Ice Princess, the daughter who was kept behind bulletproof glass and high walls because my father had made too many enemies to count. I was 22, and I had never gone to a grocery store alone. I had never walked through a park without 2 men in suits trailing 10 feet behind me. I was a bird in a gilded cage, and I was starving for something real. Then, 6 months ago, the threats against my father started getting worse. He didn't tell me the details, he never does, but he doubled the security. He fired the old team and brought in a new lead protector. That was Julian. The first time I saw him, he was standing in our foyer, looking like he had been carved out of granite. He was taller than the other guards, with dark, messy hair and eyes that were the color of a storm. He didn't look at me with the pity or the boredom the other guards did. He looked at me with a strange, intense focus, like he was trying to memorize the exact way I breathed. I remember feeling a shiver go down my spine, but I told myself it was just because he was intimidating. My father introduced us with his usual coldness. This is Julian. He goes where you go. He stays where you stay. He is your shadow, Clara. Treat him as such. For the first month, Julian was exactly that, a shadow. He didn't speak unless I spoke to him. He was always there, standing in the corner of the room or sitting in the front seat of the car, his eyes constantly scanning the world for threats I couldn't even see. He was efficient, lethal, and completely silent. But I was lonely, and Julian was the only person who was always there. I started trying to break him. I'd ask him questions about his life, where he grew up, if he had a family. He'd give me one-word answers. Yes, no, nowhere. But slowly, the ice started to melt. It happened on a rainy Tuesday night. We were driving back from a charity gala that I had hated, and the car got stuck in a massive traffic jam. The rain was drumming against the roof, creating a tiny, private world inside the back seat. I looked at Julian's profile in the dim light of the street lamps. He looked exhausted. "You don't have to do this, you know," I said quietly. He didn't look back. "It's my job, Miss Sterling." "No, I mean, you don't have to pretend you're a robot. I know you're tired. I know you'd rather be anywhere but here, guarding a girl who does nothing but go to parties she doesn't like." He finally turned to look at me. The storm in his eyes had calmed into something softer, something almost like regret. "I don't mind being here, Clara," he said. It was the first time he had used my name instead of Miss Sterling. His voice was like velvet and gravel. "You're the only thing in this house that isn't made of stone." After that night, everything changed. The professional wall between us didn't just crack, it vanished. Julian started talking to me. He told me about his father, a man who had been a carpenter, a man who taught him how to work with his hands before everything went wrong. He told me about how he joined the military to escape a life he hated. He made me laugh, actually laugh, for the first time in years. He'd tell me stories about his travels while we sat in the garden at midnight, away from my father's prying eyes. I fell for him because he treated me like I was human. He didn't see the Sterling bank account. He saw the girl who liked to paint in the dark because she was afraid of the sun. He made me feel brave. One afternoon, he took me to a local boxing gym he used to visit. He taught me how to throw a punch. He stood behind me, his hands on my hips, adjusting my stance. I remember the heat of his touch through my shirt, the way my heart hammered against my ribs. I turned around to say something, and the air between us just disappeared. He kissed me, and it wasn't a bodyguard kiss. It was the kiss of a man who had been starving for a long time. "I shouldn't do this," he whispered against my lips. "This is dangerous, Clara. I've lived in danger my whole life," I told him, pulling him back. "This is the only time I've ever felt safe." For the next 3 months, we lived a double life. In front of my father, he was the stoic protector. But in the hallways of the mansion, in the back of the car, in the quiet moments when the world wasn't looking, he was mine. He told me he loved me. He told me that once his contract was over, we would leave. He'd take me to a small town by the coast, somewhere the Sterling name meant nothing. I believed him. I started planning my escape. I felt like I was finally going to be free. But the secrets in my family's house are never buried deep enough. Yesterday, my father was in a foul mood. He had lost a major court case, and he was taking it out on everyone. He fired 3 maids and spent an hour screaming at Julian for a minor security lapse. I saw Julian's jaw clench, the muscles in his neck tightening, but he didn't say a word. He just stood there and took it. Later that night, I went to Julian's room. It was a small, sparsely furnished space in the servants' wing. I wanted to comfort him, to tell him that we'd be out of here soon. He wasn't there. He was doing a final sweep of the grounds. I sat on his bed waiting for him, and I noticed something sticking out from under the corner of the mattress. It was a small black leather notebook. I shouldn't have opened it, I know that now, but I thought maybe it was his sketchbook. I thought I'd see drawings of me. I opened the first page and the world went cold. It wasn't a sketchbook, it was a ledger. It was a list of businesses my father had acquired over the last 20 years. But they weren't just business names. Next to each one was a family name, and next to that, a description of what happened to them. Bankrupt, evicted, jailed, suicide. I flipped through the pages, my heart thudding in my ears. I saw names I recognized from my father's stories, men he had laughed about crushing, and then I reached the middle of the book. There was a photo tucked between the pages. It was an old, faded picture of a young boy and his father standing in front of a small woodworking shop. The shop had a sign, Vance and Son Carpentry. The boy in the photo had Julian's eyes. I looked at the list on the opposite page, Vance and Son, year 2008. Action, predatory loan, forced foreclosure. Result, Thomas Vance committed suicide. Family left homeless. My stomach turned. I turned the page again, and that's when I saw it. The revenge list. It was a list of the people responsible for Thomas Vance's death. My father's name was at the top, written in thick, aggressive ink. It was crossed out with a single red line. My brother, who manages my father's legal team, was next. He was crossed out too. And then, at the very bottom, in a circle so deep the pen had almost torn the paper, was my name, Clara Sterling. I sat there in the dark, the notebook shaking in my hands. I realized that everything, the bus ride, the accidental meeting, the late-night talks, the boxing lessons, the kisses, it was all a setup. Julian didn't fall for the girl in the gilded cage. He had spent years training, learning how to be an elite guard, just so he could get close enough to the Sterlings to strike. He had dismantled my father's business from the inside. The court case my father lost yesterday. Julian was the one who leaked the documents, and I was the final move on the board. I heard the door creak open. I didn't move. I didn't look up. I felt Julian's presence before I saw him. The air in the room felt heavy, like it was made of lead. "I wondered how long it would take you to find that," he said. His voice wasn't the voice of the man who loved me. It was the voice of the man who had dangled from the Ferris wheel. Cold, hollow. I finally looked up. He was standing in the doorway, the light from the hall silhouetting him. He didn't look like a protector. He looked like an executioner. Was any of it real? I whispered, the words feeling like glass in my throat. He walked into the room and sat in the chair across from me. He didn't try to take the book, he just watched me. My father was a good man, Clara. He built things with his hands. He worked hard. Your father decided he wanted the land the shop sat on for a parking garage. He didn't just buy him out. He destroyed his reputation. He planted evidence of fraud. He watched my father hang himself in that shop because he couldn't face the shame. I didn't do that, Julian, I said, tears finally spilling over. I was a child. You are a sterling, he snapped, and for the first time, I saw the rage beneath the surface. You ate the food bought with that money. You wore the clothes. You lived in the house built on his bones. I spent 10 years becoming the man who could get past your father's walls. I wanted to kill him. I really did. So why is his name crossed out? I asked. Because killing him is too easy, Julian said, leaning forward. I wanted him to watch his empire crumble. I wanted him to see his son in handcuffs. I wanted him to lose everything. And then I was going to take the one thing he actually cares about. You. I looked down at my name in the circle. Are you going to kill me? Julian didn't answer for a long time. He reached out, and for a second, I thought he was going to touch my face. I flinched. He pulled his hand back, and a look of genuine pain flashed across his eyes. That was the plan, he whispered. The plan was to make you fall for me, to make you trust me, and then I was going to take you away, let him think you were dead, and let him die alone in a prison cell, knowing he failed to protect the only person he ever loved. But you didn't, I said. I didn't, he agreed, his voice cracking. I didn't expect the Ice Princess to be so human. I didn't expect to see myself in you. You're just as much a victim of Arthur Sterling as I am. You're just a prisoner in a bigger room. He stood up and walked to the window, looking out at the sprawling Sterling estate. I can't finish the list, Clara. I look at your name, and I don't see a Sterling. I just see the girl who paints in the dark. But it's too late. The wheels are already turning. The police are coming for your father tomorrow morning. The assets are frozen. By noon tomorrow, this house won't be yours anymore. What about us? I asked, though I already knew the answer. Julian turned back to me. The storm was back in his eyes, but this time it was full of grief. There is no us, Clara. I'm the man who destroyed your family. I'm the man who lied to you for 6 months. Even if I love you, and God help me, I do, you will never look at me without seeing that list. You will never know if a kiss is real or if it's just another move in the game. He walked over to me and took the notebook from my hands. He pulled a lighter from his pocket and set the revenge list on fire. We sat there in the dark, watching my name turn to ash. Go to the safe in your father's office, Julian said quietly. The code is your birthday. There is a bag in there with a passport and cash. I put it there weeks ago. My car is out back. The keys are under the mat. Take it and drive. Don't go to the police. Don't call your brother. Just go. Are you coming with me? I can't, he said. I have to stay. I have to make sure he doesn't find you. I have to finish the job. He leaned down and kissed my forehead. It was cold. It was a goodbye. I'm sorry I was the one who had to wake you up, Clara, but the cage is open now. Run! I did what he said. I took the bag. I took the car. I drove until the sun came up, until the Sterling mansion was just a dark memory in my rearview mirror. I saw the news the next day. Arthur Sterling arrested. The empire collapsed. But there was no mention of the lead bodyguard. Julian Vance had vanished. It's been a year now. I live in a small town by the coast, just like he said. I have a different name. I paint in the sun now, not the dark. I have a quiet life, but every Tuesday, I go to the bus stop at the end of my street. I sit on the bench and I wait. I'm still looking for my shadow. I'm still waiting for the man who drew a circle around my name to come back and tell me that the game is finally over. Because the truth is, he was right. I am a Sterling. I grew up with power and money, but Julian Vance was the only thing I ever truly owned. And I'd give every bit of my freedom just to be his prisoner again. I'm sharing this because I want you to know that love isn't always a sanctuary. Sometimes love is a battlefield. Sometimes the person who saves you is the same person who was sent to destroy you. And sometimes the most dangerous thing in the world isn't an enemy, it's a man with a notebook and a broken heart. Before I go, if this story made you wonder about the secrets the people around you are keeping, please leave a like. And if you've ever loved someone you knew you shouldn't trust, please leave a comment with the word shadow. It helps me feel a little less alone in this quiet life. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories from the dark corners of the heart. And please, watch out for the people who look at you too closely. You never know whose list you're on.